Hi guys, Spartan765 here. Today I'm doing a video review on a gun that I purchased a couple months ago and had to send back because it was a complete pile of shit. Let me just tell you the problem before I start the review. We had a trunnion, front trunnion, where the bore that the barrel goes into in the front trunnion was bored at an angle, so it wasn't bored straight. So the barrel actually was angled about a quarter inch off to the left. The inside of the receiver was completely coated in surface rust. Let's see, what else was wrong with it? Those were the big things. Oh yeah, obviously the barrel being canted and the receiver fucked up the lockup somehow. So that was all fucked up. And they tried to take a grinder and grind down one of the locking links to try to make it work. The lockup was so tight that you drop, here, I'll just show you on the gun. You drop the bolt and then let it go and it would stop where it's open about a ½ inch. You'd have to do that to close it. Knew the gun wasn't going to work. The gun was a complete pile of shit. It was a complete lemon, so I sent it back. And that gun is the Palmetto State Armory PSAK47. Now, I'm not shit-talking Palmetto. Bought a lot of their shit. Never had an issue. Watched a lot of reviews in this gun before I bought it. Read a lot of shit on the internet about it. Not really anything negative. The reason I bought this gun to begin with is, oh, by the way, they sent it back. I just got it back today. Took it, 2 days ago. Took it to the range today. Shot it. Got it zeroed. Everything works fine. This gun is very nice. Smooth bolt. I'll just do a pan. This is the PSA AK-47. If you want an American-made AK or just an AK in general for $650, that's of good quality, go with this. I just happen to get a lemon, which somehow happens to me all the time. Reason I bought this: number one, I'm not a fan of American-made AKs, with limited exception, because most people cheap out. They don't make the AK the way it's supposed to be made to mil spec. They do cast trunnions, cast bolts, cast everything, just so they can make a cheaper gun. And in reality, that's a piece of shit. The RAS-47 is a piece of shit. The DDI AK is a piece of shit. The IO AK is a piece of shit. They all use cast trunnions, cast bolts, cast anything that they can possibly get away with casting, they cast. With the exception of Arsenal, obviously. Arsenal makes perfect US-made AKs, but they're also $1,200. We're talking about a gun in the $650 price range, right up there with the Wasser 10, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less, depending on where you're looking. This AK has a billet front trunnion, a billet rear sight block, a billet bolt. So you don't need to worry about your lugs snapping off or anything like that, or the gun failing after 4,000 rounds. Watch AK Operators Union. He has got a video on this. Rob has got a video. And this gun is just phenomenal. I mean, he does the 5,000 round torture test, and it lasts. All the other shitty US AKs did not make the grade. What this thing does have going for it right from the factory, obviously, is on this one and on ones that aren't fucked up, the lockup is really nice. I mean, it's just a hair above. I mean, it's, I don't want to say tight, a little tight. It's good to have lockup that's a tiny bit tight, because that gives you some little leeway when the rifle wears after 1,000 rounds. The bolt is like super smooth. There's no hang up where it's, well, there is a little bit, but that's just catching on the hammer. There's nothing where, like, the bolt will stay open. It's got the polymer furniture. This does have a stainless steel heat shield inside of it for your hand. And the gun is considerably lighter than a wood-stocked AK, which is really nice. It's a very nice, wieldy little gun. It does have a side rail on the side, which is great for mounting optics, which I may or may not do. I don't know. Most parts are serialed. You get your gas block serialed, bolt serialed, trunnion serialed, receiver serialed. mean, they serialed a lot more in this gun than they're required to. Technically, all they're required to is just the receiver, which is kind of nice. What else about this gun? It's got a 6-groove barrel, nitrate finish in the barrel, which is nice, adds to the life of the barrel. I don't really think nitrating does a ton. I mean, it does a little bit for corrosion resistance, but not a ton. The nitrate treating process does harden the walls of the barrel, which is nice, gives you a longer life. Would I rather have chrome line? Well, it's kind of a compromise. You know, you get chrome line, you might lose a little accuracy. You get nitrate, you're going to keep that accuracy, but you're probably not going to do so well with corrosive ammunition if you don't clean your gun. There's always a trade-off with everything. But anyway, PSA AK47. This gun is zeroed. As you can see, the front sight is right in the middle, no cant. I shot at 25, just did a quick battle zero, got it literally on the T to the half-inch, right in the bullseye, so she should be on out to 200 meters, but I'm not going to trust that. Once the weather warms up, I'm going to get my ass out and zero this thing at 100 and then 200 meters, making sure it's right on, right where I want it. It was doing about, you know, in a good group where, you know, I was sitting really stable. And the one downside of this gun is the trigger is pretty bad. It's advertised as a single stage, but it's kind of double stage. You pull the trigger and then the disconnector hits in the rear of the hammer, and then you get a little bit more spring tension, and it's gritty. Plus the trigger is really short, as you can see, not nearly as long as a regular AK trigger. That's not something that deterred me from buying the rifle. I knew that when I bought it. I'm just going to swap that out with a better trigger. No problems. But yeah, with a better trigger, I'm very confident this thing will easily do MOA with good ammo. Got my Lancaster AK that'll do MOA. I'm pretty confident this thing can. But we'll just have to see. I mean, it did half-inch at 25. That was with this shitty trigger, though. My biggest groups were about maybe an inch when I first started. A little over an inch when I first put the first few shots of the gun. But I'm very confident she'll do an inch at 100. But yeah, that's the PSA AK47. I give this rifle, if I had to say, probably 8 out of 10 stars. Oh, also, one of the reasons I'm giving it 8 out of 10, the bolt, firing pin, retaining pin cannot be easily removed with just a little tool kit and using the bolt carrier as a hammer. They squish one end of the pin almost flat and then force the pin in. So it's really press fit in there. I had to take a fucking 1-pound hammer and just get a punch and just wham on that shit to get that pin out when I clean the gun. And that's just shitty. So I'm going to call them and ask them to send me a replacement pin because that's a piece of shit. I put the pin back in as it is, but I'm probably going to have to use a fucking arbor press to get the pin out. Is what it is. Doesn't damage the bolt. Any of the bolts, good quality bolts. I'm just going to see if I can get them to give me a new pin. But anyway, 8 out of 10 just for the shitty pin. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There really isn't many complaints I have about this gun. Any comments, questions? Send me a message, Spartan765 out.